the first point of contact for you to talk to. I'm very happy that you're here. Currently, I only see the people in the room, but I'm very, very glad to be able to meet you today and to share information about our amazing MBA programs. During the event, these summer open days are typically very in a very small crowd, so they're very friendly environment. So feel free to ask any questions at any point. You don't have to wait until the very end. So we will start with a couple of opening words from RBS Director Claudio Rivera. Then we will follow with some administrative information about our programs, and then you will be able to meet and talk to our faculty member, our alumnus, and also about to our existing student who is now studying. And some representatives from our student union have also joined today, and you'll be able to talk to them and interact. As I mentioned throughout all of the event, please raise your hand and ask any questions you will have. I have also graduated from this program, so if you wanted to ask a question for me as not an employee, but as an alumnus, I can take off my employee hat and talk to you as a graduate. Without further ado, Claudio, we're ready for you. The Zoom is yours.
Thank you. Well, good day to everybody. I cannot see you here, but I would have liked to be there, but unfortunately I am now in Lithuania. And I am very happy that we can host this open day and that you are considering to join the MBA program or the Executive MBA program, that are our two oldest programs in Riga Business School. And I've been associated with Riga Business School for already 11 years. I'm very proud of it. So we have done a lot of things together. So this is a very special place because of the capacity that we have for innovation. So since the very beginning, 1991, the school wanted always to bring what is the best in business schools in the world and to bring it to the Baltic states. Now, Riga Business School is doing a lot of work, not only in Latvia and in the Baltics, but also we are being very active with top universities in the world like MIT or Harvard. And we are as well making programs for universities, helping universities all around the world to innovate, and also working in Africa right now. So our outreach is far beyond the Latvian borders, and that shows how strong the Riga Business School is. So it's very strong on innovation, with a vocation, with a calling, with the mission of bringing the best education possible, with the best materials, the best possible professors that we can have access to, trying to as well have a good selection of students that actually can create a community of people that have both ambitions and also the capacity to bring companies to the next level. We also try, and I think quite successfully, to create a community around the Riga Business School, because when you come to a business school, it's not only about the studies, but it's also about those relationships that hopefully will stay for long period of time. And we are very proud of the level of engagement that our alumni have in the school. So many of them are mentors of our students, many are teaching in our school or holding different type of positions in Riga Business School. So that means that our alumni wants to stay connected with RBS and wants to continue being engaged with Riga Business School. And we also look at becoming, as I said at the beginning, a global player. And that's, now for a couple of weeks, I am the new director of Riga Business School. That's part of what I have been asked asked to do, that is to make RBS a global player, and in that way to help Latvia and the Baltics as well to have more impact in the world. And I think we are in a very good position to help Latvia in this sense, helping our managers to have the global engagement, that they have a global awareness, that they can also start to look far beyond the borders. I say to everybody, I want that when people come to Riga Business School and are part of our programs, and they feel that the world is smaller, so that really you can reach everywhere. Today, for those that were there before the call, they already heard about that, but we were leading a big workshop with people from all over Europe and Asia, and they actually they want to connect with RBS because they see the capacity that we have for innovation. Now, before I close, I wanted to a few words about the MBA. MBA, you know, is one of the oldest university programs that exist. I mean, the first MBA programs were launched in the US. And actually is a very standard program, and it's a sort of must-have for anyone that wants to work in consulting or in business or create their own businesses. It's a sort of global standard of education. And there are three big questions or three big objectives why people join MBAs, and is the same for Riga Business School students or for students in Harvard Business School or students in Sloan School of Management. So that's those same questions. The first one is people generally when they join an MBA is because they are becoming manager for the first time, or they are with the possibility to progress on higher management positions, or they want to move into new roles. And the question is, how can you perform on the new roles when you have new responsibility, when you have more people in your staff, when you need to look at your work in a broader perspective. And an MBA program really helps you because you have courses like strategy or organizational behavior or leadership. What these courses are aimed to is to help you think strategically, to think on how you can impact the success of your organization from your own role, understanding that the skills that you need in the new role are not the same skills that actually make you successful now. And an MBA program is very much shaped to help students understand, that transition, how to be successful when you move into new roles. That hopefully is what everyone is looking to do in a career. There has been a study now between graduates of Stanford. They change careers every 2 years. Probably not everyone goes through such a dynamic career, but all of us really go through many, many changes. And that's part of how the job market looks like right now, how the companies look like right now. So we have to be, if you are in business, you have to be great on transition. And that's what an MBA program really is shaped to help you be very good in transition. The second thing is when you move in these transitions, either because you change your role, or because you change your company, or because you are creating your own company, or because you are changing the country where you are, that comes with transitions in your personal life as well. And in Riga Business School, we're very much aware of that. And that's why in the professional MBA course we have the personal and career development course. And in the executive MBA program, we have the leadership development practicum course. These are courses that are created to actually help you navigate those transitions at a personal level. Because question like how I can keep, as I move into my new roles, how I can keep myself authentic to my values, to my personal goals, to my family goals. And these type of questions are very, very important, and are very, very important also for your employers, because if you don't find the answer to those questions, it will be very difficult for you to perform in your role. And the third type of question why people join MBAs is because sometimes they want to change the business where they are in. Sometimes they want to change the industry. Sometimes they want to leave the role of an employee or manager and to be an entrepreneur. So what an MBA is intended to help in that transition, understanding how you can get into a new industry. What's the process of innovation? How can you make the proper research to get into it? How can you create partnerships? And that's why there are several courses in the MBA programs that actually are connected with entrepreneurship, innovation, where you need to create business plans or marketing plans, or even the research, the thesis process is a process where you can use to actually think on your new industry. That's all what I have to share. I will stay for a few minutes more in the call, but basically it's welcome to Rio Business School. It's a school that actually is very committed to innovation, excellence, community, and global outreach. And hopefully you join the MBA, and hopefully the MBA will help you to navigate the types of transitions that any business leader go through. Transition in role, transition in a personal level, a transition in industry, or maybe joining the entrepreneurs workplace. Okay, so thank you for your attention, and I will be here till 4:30 p.m.
We'll continue with administrative information. So this open day will be a balance of very, very practical information and also experience from the people from our community. Aldis will continue with the administrative information.
Thank you, Elza. As you can see, my name is Aldis Greitans. I'm MBA Program Director. And thank you, Claudio, for the great introduction. Basically, Claudio told you almost like everything what the MBA program is intended for. I have to tell that I'm a graduate of Riga Business School, but I graduated back in '96. So when I was 30, so you can calculate how old am I. I'm almost ancient. And actually, the reason why I started studying in Riga Business School was exactly the one Claudio mentioned. I was at that moment in a very funny way having some career in programming. I found myself managing marketing in a bank, in a Latvian bank. And at that moment, I understood that I don't understand how a business organization should function. And I applied for Riga Business School. And it was a kick for my career. In '96, when graduating, I found myself already in bank's board in charge of all the retail operations of that bank. And the bank itself, it changed its name several times, and it is Swedbank today. This bank is alive, still alive. So yeah, actually, the goal of professional MBA is not to prepare you for employment or labor market, but the goal of professional MBA is actually to prepare you for career growth. And I think you feel the difference. Basically, if employers are asking for more qualified and cheap labor, then we are preparing more qualified and expensive, ambitious, knowledgeable people who are able either to manage a company or establish his or her own business and manage this business. We have two MBA programs. One is professional MBA, and today mostly focus will be on professional MBA. As I told, this is for ambitious people which are focused on their career or possibly also focused on their establishing and developing their own business. And honestly to say, I'm very happy to see more and more business owners in our school. And we have executive MBA. This is for people which are either already in C-suite or they are close to that position. And this program is more, let's say, let's reshape their thinking, reshape their knowledge, and then basically if they feel a little bit rusty or if they feel that they need to update the knowledge, then they are applying for executive MBA. Anyway, I think business school is for ambitious people. So technical differences between professional MBA and executive MBA. In professional MBA, the nominal the duration of the program is 2.5 to maximum to 3 years. We are studying, or our MBA students are studying here all around the year. We have 3 trimesters, fall, spring, and then summer semester. And we encourage students to take on average 2 courses per semester. Maximum is 4 courses, but if you would want to take 4 courses, then you should talk to me, because basically this is a lot of job a lot of work to take 4 courses. Actually 2 courses is the optimum workload for studies, and basically because you should keep in mind that it's not only the studies in the afternoon from 6 to 9 p.m. but also you'll have homeworks, you will have group works and things like this, and then you will have to spend your personal time also for the study. But basically all have studied already in high school, so you know that this is not only being present here in the school. Yeah, classes are held from Monday to Thursday. Friday is reserved. Sometimes for some reason, this could be, for instance, sickness of the professor. We then are moving this class to Friday, but that's very rare case. Then basically Fridays already, as you know, belong to weekends, and we are taking care about, let's say, free time of our students. Yes, and we have 3 specializations in MBA: marketing, IT specialization, and finance. That means that you will have to take more elective courses, which are specializing you either in marketing, IT, or finance. And briefly about executive MBA, actually the schedule there is different. Executive MBA students are studying once per month what we call the extended weekend. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all days. Besides basically the typical MBA courses, which are more held in form of seminars and discussions, and I should say are a little bit more like challenging the way of thinking of the students. We also have 2 study trips. Basically, those trips are equivalent of 2 courses. One is European one, another is transcontinental, somewhere outside the Europe. And it's not just, let's say, seeing other countries. Basically, students have to do some certain work during those trips, basically do some sort of research and write respective reports. And then there is one core difference. Executive MBA students have so-called leadership development practicum, which runs throughout all the studies. In all those 20 months they are studying here, and it's about developing them as leaders. Yeah, people actually, probably not all people are born leaders, but we claim and we prove here in business school that you can become leader. You can learn to be leader. That's possible, and that's basically what we're doing. And we also are considering to introduce something similar in professional MBA, but this will not start in this autumn, and that there is some sort of plan. Yep.
wanted to add and to ask a question. In the previous slide, you saw the specialization. So if you're not interested in the three specializations, finance, marketing, or IT, you can also go ahead with general MBA. And that's just a way how to go about the program. It is one program, but you have several options how to take the elective courses. You can also select two specializations. For example, if you're interested in finance and IT, you can go ahead and get those two, or marketing, or any two that you want to combine. Right? Have you thought about the specialization? Have you looked into this one option? Yeah. Yeah. Which is the one you're interested in? Fine. And have you thought?
Well, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. We can do it. If you will have later questions about how to select the specializations and how it all works, I'm happy to do an individual consultation with each of you.
Yeah, thank you, Alza. That's right. Actually, I forgot to tell that you can get so-called general professional MBA, but this will not make you worse manager or business owner. Yeah.
And one more thing. Okay. And one more thing. One more thing about the professional MBA program, if you're interested in your thinking, then about the pace of the program. So if you are working full time, then 2 courses is enough. Sometimes you can combine 3 courses, but really, as Aldis mentioned, then it's a lot of workload, and it also just takes time to physically read the books and do the homeworks. There's not that much time in the week for you as working professionals. However, our international students do take multiple courses. International students take 3 or 4 courses per week, as they are here full time. So their biggest focus is on the studies. So international students take 3 and 4 courses each trimester. So we have 3 trimesters: fall, spring, summer. All right.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Alda. So common in both programs, or basically it's some sort of content of the programs. So we have nine core courses. Those are statistics, which or for some people is the most terrible course. We have finance accounting, we have marketing management. Basically, those are those very fundamental things every manager should understand if she or he wants to manage a company, wants to manage a department, or run own business. And then we are asking to take 6 elective courses. Basically, this is according to your intentions and wishes. If you are going for a specialization, then those should be either marketing or IT courses or finance courses. Basically, it depends on your, let's say, ambitions and plans. We have international faculty. Of course, most of the faculty is from Latvia, but there are also faculty members from outside Latvia. But the one fundamental rule here with the faculty is that those people should be professional. Those people should be professional. They should come from the industry, and they should have significant experience in the courses they are teaching. The reason is pretty simple. We have in the master classes, in professional MBA classes, we have mature people with some career, already with established careers, and then they are usually specialists or some particular area, and then very often it happens that there are finance people, accounting people, for instance, in finance accounting class, and if you want to talk to those students, if you want to teach them something, you should be serious professional in that respective area. Yeah, we are extensively using all kind of modern teaching methods, and the strategy is actually move more and more in advanced teaching methods. Those will what we have here, those are not just PowerPoint PowerPoint classes. You'll have to have all kind of class discussions, class group works, also some sort of simulations, and then things like case studies and all those things. This is one of the positive results of COVID pandemics. Basically, COVID pandemics gave some sort of kick to the education industry, which in a way was stagnating and stuck into PowerPoint slides. And now all the most advanced high schools understand that they should change the way they are teaching. One very strict requirement is you should have average grade 8 to graduate from Riga Business School. Probably sounds terrible, but honestly, to say, during my watch here, I can recall only one case when a student had to take extra courses to improve the average grade. The reason is pretty simple. We have very high quality students. We have very high quality students, and in fact, the fact that you are here actually is proving that you have sufficient level of ambitions and most probably sufficient level of experience and knowledge already to be among the best people in the country. Okay, so requirements: we require a bachelor degree, English proficiency. You should, if you have not graduated from the high school where the teaching language is English, actually you should prove this by tests. And for those applying for professional MBA, we are asking minimum 2 years working experience. And for executive MBA, we are asking 5 years experience in managerial role, in a managerial role. So the degree, actually, you will get a master's degree from Riga Business School, Riga Technical University, and you will have also certificate from University of Buffalo and University of Ottawa. And those universities are among the Riga Technical University. They are establishing founding fathers of Riga Business School, and they still representatives of those universities are in our advisory council, supervising our development, and they are influencing the way we are working and developing our programs. Yeah. So yeah, in brief, actually, we are preparing you for your career. We are preparing you for your career to be able to manage a company, whatever, does it belong to you or belong to someone else, to be in charge, to understand what's going on in the company, how a business functions, and also how you can influence the way the company works, develop strategy, lay out plans, and implement those plans. And we are teaching you also to be ambidextrous, because you know that implementing plans on one hand requires from some certain skills. On the other hand, this asks leadership qualities, and those are two important things to move ahead a company, to move ahead a team, and so on, so on. So we are paying attention to both those things in our school. Yeah, so key dates, application deadline is August the 8th, executive MBA early bird application is September the 5th, and then the closing date for executive MBA is November the 6th. I also should tell that we have two intakes in professional MBA. One is during summer for the fall semester, which starts in beginning of September, and then another intake is in autumn. For those people, the first semester starts in beginning of January, and those are two terms of application, 2 dates of application during the year.
Are you thinking of September? Not yet?
Yeah, so I'm open for questions, and those will assist me. As you know, I tended to forget things.
Really, I will take the main part because we're recording. So the question was how many students we have per class. By class, I mean a course, right? Study course. And it will really depend by study course, how many people will be there. For example, a very specific finance elective, should it be investment management? It will most likely have 10, 15 people in class. However, a bigger core course that happens once per year, such as organizational behavior or human resource management, that every student has to go through, and it is taught in spring. Those courses might have be from 40 to 55, sometimes even 60 people in the class. So it really will depend on the season and on the course. On average, I would say maybe 30 in professional MBA, but it can be smaller classes, 10, 15 in electives, and bigger numbers in core courses. 30 is the average. Right? Any other questions about the application process? All is clear about the English language requirement, right? Okay. Then I think we can move on to a more fun part, at least for me. So the application details, very technical. However, Mike is very, very entertaining and a cool person to know. So I will give the floor to Mike. Mike Wells. He is an MBA faculty member, and he teaches entrepreneurship. But this year, the course was upgraded with artificial intelligence elements. So Mike, will you help me with the precise name of your course? AI
Smart
guided
startup.
Yes.
AI guided entrepreneurship.
Yeah, business plan development. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Mike. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, nice to see you all here. Am I up here? Are my slides up there?
Oh, yeah. And
Okay,
they
great.
should be there. The next slide should be yours.
Okay, so what I thought I would do is tell you about how did I get, I'm an American, how did I end up in Latvia? A little bit about my background, why I like teaching at Riga Business School, and then a little bit about my courses. Not very long, 10 minutes. So how did I end up teaching at RBS? Well, it's a kind of long and windy road, but I'm an engineer by education. I have a PhD, bachelor's, master's, all in electrical engineering. And when I graduated with my PhD, well, when I was working on my PhD, I worked for a really inspiring entrepreneur for 3 years, which made me want to start my own business. And so with my stepfather, who was 63 and I was 27, we launched our own engineering consulting firm, nearly went bankrupt, went through the usual hell of a startup. But after a few years, we came up with a standard product and finally started making money. We were on the Inc. 500 list a couple of years in a row and won some awards. And after 8 years of that, we sold it mainly because we were afraid we couldn't. It was in the computer PC revolution. What we made was networking adapters for IBM PCs and the compatibles. And so we sold it, and that gave me a lot of capital and to become an angel investor, allowed me to become an angel investor. And while I started doing that, love entered my life in the form of a Latvian woman. So that's how I ended up coming to Latvia. We moved here actually and lived here for a few years while I was doing my angel investing. And one thing worth mentioning, one of our first customers was early customers was Michael Dell. And I ended up investing a lot into Dell when I got my money out of my company, which was a second best angel investment I've made. I've made some other really bad ones. It's a combination investing. It's some good, some bad, and you hope you make more good decisions than bad ones. And we moved around a lot. Then I sort of came back to entrepreneurship, which I call Entrepreneur 2.0, with a different attitude. Instead of trying to do some huge successful thing like I was trying to do the first time, I'm more into the side hustles and generating multiple revenue streams that are small for stability. So that's what I do now. Now, all of that time, all the way back to the first company, I've been teaching entrepreneurship. Since 1987, I started guest lecturing. In fact, in one of the first entrepreneurship courses, believe it or not, entrepreneurship as a field of study, it's pretty new. Claudio was talking about the MBA, which I think is like 100 years old. This is like 35 years old. It's really a new field. And because I was moving around a lot, I've taught at a lot of different universities a course or seminars. And Riga Business School has been the kind of thread that ran through my whole teaching career, my favorite place. And why is that? Well, of course, one reason probably is my wife is Latvian and we've spent a lot of time here, but it's more than that. The faculty here really love what they do. It's not just a job to them. They have a lot of experience, a real world experience. And that results in the students being able to apply what they learn in the classroom. It's not just a bunch of theory. And let me tell you something, if you're shopping around schools, you should watch for this, because there are some business schools, and I won't say who, but you would be surprised, where it's a lot of theory and no practical use. A third thing, student quality, very, very high here. Students are very smart. I don't know why, maybe Latvians are just smart people, but in comparison to some of the other places where I've taught, very good students, and also the English, very high level English. Believe it or not, higher level than some places I've taught in the UK, where they're speaking their native language, which is kind of horrible, but that's true. Also supportive, number 4, supportive management, committed to quality, to innovation, looking forward thinking. Claudio and his predecessor, Yanis Grevins, and all the people on the staff, really, they're top, really easy to work with, and I like how they think. So I think these things, they matter to me as a professor. They might matter to you too, to some degree. What do I teach? Really only one. I'm a kind of a one-trick pony, as we say in English. I teach entrepreneurship to MBAs, to bachelors, to EMBAs. I've taught it in other places to engineers, and here too, because we have some RTU engineers sometimes in our classes. Engineers, physicists, mathematicians, even arts, creative arts, anybody can learn entrepreneurship and how to start a company. I teach from my own experience. You know, I don't buy cases or usually, I do have a few outside cases, but almost all the cases I present are from my own life, my own companies, my sister's companies, my friends' companies, my angel investments, so on and so forth. Students like that because it's firsthand, you know, experience. Guest speaker entrepreneurs. This is another thing students really love. You know, when I first started teaching in Latvia, this is when it started. In the middle of the class, you know, the students would say, well, that's easy for you to say, you know, you can start a business easy because you're an American, you know. I said, oh, really? So you can't start a business in Latvia, huh? Let me show you. And so I started inviting guest speakers. And I have like 4, 5, 6 in every class, local successful entrepreneurs. For example, this summer, these are a few you may have heard of, maybe not, maybe so. And here over the past 20 years, yeah, I've been teaching here 20 years. I've had 70 something guest speakers, and you recognize some of these companies and people, I'm sure. The students love this. I love it. It's very interesting for me to hear these people come tell their stories of how they started their business in Latvia. Some of them, you know, quite big, unicorns. Another thing I do in my class, I'm a big believer in applying theory to something, or it just goes in one ear out the other. So in all my entrepreneurship classes, the students have to do a startup plan, a business plan, a pitch deck, the whole thing, you know. And then I have a competition. All the teams, they work in teams, students work in teams. They pitch at the end, and the guest speakers are the judges. And by the way, the guest speakers are there. The students choose the guest speaker. First day of my class, I say, I have a homework assignment. Nominate a guest speaker who you admire and explain why do you admire them. Tell me some questions you would ask them if they came and spoke. So that's how I get them. And then the final thing, I have what I believe are valuable deliverables that come out of the class, which is that you have a business plan and or pitch deck that you could start your own business using that roadmap, or you could submit it to business plan competitions. I've had a few students win good prize money, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 euros at all these competitions all over Nordic, Baltic, Europe, Scandinavia. So I also do a lot of PR for my classes, a lot more now than I used to. Like I publish LinkedIn posts about what's going on, like this one in the class. And as was mentioned, this summer I started adding AI to the mix. So the students now must use ChatGPT 3 or 4 to help brainstorm ideas and do all the steps all the way through the class to generate their business plan. It's so much better. I mean, the innovation level, the clarity of the communication and everything is just so much improved when you use AI. So that's all I have to say. Thank you. You can scan that QR code and connect with me on LinkedIn. You can ask me questions. And of course, I'm open to any questions you have now.
Will you be able to stay here for a little bit until the end of the event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What time is it at? 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
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 I've got to go eat because my class meets tonight. By the way, is it legal for me to invite them? They could come to my class tonight. You can come from 6 to 7 and hear the lecture. And we also have a guest lecture from 8 to 9, the founder of Pranamat, this thing for your back, you know, this, you know, this product. Yeah, she's coming tonight. So yeah, you're welcome to come and sit in on it because we only have 23 students, and so there's plenty of extra seats.
Here in this room?
Yeah, in this
Same
room,
room.
6 o'clock.
From 6 to 9. The MBA classes are always from 6 to 9. And many times the classes are split in sometimes in 3 parts.
We
Sometimes
have 3
some
parts,
practice
lecture,
against lecture.
lecture, students work on projects, the middle hour, and then the guest speaker tonight. So lecture, team project work, you know, here, and then guest speaker.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening.
Yeah. Let's switch microphones. Next one on is Yekaterina. She is our current MBA student, and she will join us online. And she's here. Hi. Please turn on your microphone. The Zoom live.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Right. Now we can hear you very well.
Yes. Hello, Elsa. I can see, unfortunately, only you. I cannot see the audience, but greetings, greetings to everyone. Indeed, as Elsa you said, should I go ahead? Yes, or maybe you.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I am. I was in the position of you who are there sitting in the auditorium 2 years ago, actually, meaning that I've been a student of RBS for almost 2 years. So the professional MBA studies, I'm specializing in the IT, and I'm actually 60% through the courses, meaning that 9 are done, 6 are still remaining, and then of course the master's degree. Maybe something a bit unusual if we talk about me personally is that I actually am studying at RBS while living in Finland. And this is indeed maybe not a very common approach that people live abroad, but it is something that I'm very grateful to the school that I can do that. And the faculty and the school are accommodating in that regards. So 2 years at least, it's been possible. And I am sometimes joining classes, if possible, online. And then whenever I'm in Latvia, then I join the classes there. I suppose there will be some further questions coming later, and for sure, I'll be happy to answer those. So, yeah, let me know, Elsa, if I should say something more. Or
Thank you. That was a great introduction. We will invite a faculty, as I mentioned already before, a faculty member, a student, and alumnus, and you will be. We will ask them questions, and you will also be able to ask your questions. And they will have now shortly introduced themselves, except for Valdis, who's up next. And after that, they will be invited here as a panel, and you can ask them any questions if you want. Valdis, you're up next. Thanks, Yekaterina. We'll get back to you very shortly. There you go.
Hi. Yeah, so I'm a recent graduate. I graduated from executive MBA program. What was it, like a month and a half ago? So fresh from the seats here, and with 2 years of extensive knowledge in my brain. Why I chose the school, probably that's one of the most important questions you all have in your head as well. Prior to joining the school, I actually had already quite extensive managerial experience. I was working in the global companies for several years, having a leadership role. But at one point of time, I realized that my theoretical knowledge probably is lagging behind, because from the bachelor days, already years had passed, and world keeps changing every day, and you need to change with it to be able to adapt and be up to the standards. So clearly, I had been thinking about the studies already for a while, and I thought after quite a few years of leadership experience, executive MBA is the place to go, because I can, from one side, learn something new and become a better leader in the future, but from the other side, also contribute and give back to others around me in the class, in the community, with my experience, because it's been quite a few years already. being through different processes, and I think that was a perfect match. For everyone that has some leadership experience and you're ready for the next challenges, I think I have not for a second thought that I made the wrong decision joining this executive MBA course.
What are you doing now?
Oh yeah. So one of the reasons, as I said, when choosing to study here was to give back. And that continues also after the school, after the graduation. So I recently was elected as an RBS Alumni Association board member. So that already after my studies have finished, I keep contributing to the school, giving back already in a form of alumnus, and trying to do my best to connect to other fellow alumni and provide whatever opportunities we can for the existing students, for future students, and for the previous students.
May I ask Mike and Aldis to join us here, since the somewhat official part of us speaking is over now, and we would want to move into a dialogue now. Do you have any questions to any of us? Yekaterina also. You can share the microphone if the question is addressed to someone else. Right? Oh, student union. So, I'm so sorry. Guys, come on up. Ina, come here. There you go. You need the microphone. And
All right. Hello, everyone. Once again, we are the student union representatives here in RBS at the bachelor programs. And first of all, thank you for coming for the open days. And who are we? We are the people from the really close-knit environment, and we are the ones who step on and stand out from the crowd. And the RBS community, that's the one of the greatest things that could happen to you, because it really helps you to grow as a professional and to gain the valuable experience through the lectures. And I really appreciate the fact that this place has given to me quite a lot of possible ways, and the roads open. So yeah, Arthur.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Arthur. I'm the president of Student Union. Yeah, Roma did everything good, but what I want to add is that in RBS we seek out motivated individuals, and I love to say it's my LinkedIn profile in my bio that successful people do not make it alone. They're always a member of environment, and that's why we are in RBS. So it means that everybody here is friendly. They are always are helping each other, and that's what we want. So as a student union, we always want to be better. And as I would say, we are young and we don't have the experience. We are willing always to work with people who are better and more experienced, and that's one of our jobs. Student union, we want to make more connections with MBA executives and alumni. And in next year, that's our plan, to be more connected with people, with networking. And of course, there's pros and cons for everything. And for us students, is more experience and new things that we can learn. And for MBA, it's more of like learning, teaching how to do leaderships with kids, for us students as kids. And yeah, so the journey for both of us is more enjoyable. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. If you will not start with questions, I will ask them some questions to warm it up. All right. Almost all of you, except for Mike, have studied here at Riga Business School. What was the couple of great things about it? You already mentioned some, but what's the main takeaway from the school?
Actually, I would like to say that the contribution and the engagement to the teamwork, it's really valuable thing that RBS has given to me. Since I've studied here only one academic year, I can say that I've gained quite a lot of experience and even leading experience, because it's quite important skills to learn, and thanks to RBS, I'm able to apply some knowledge given to me during the lectures to the real world problems.
From MBA perspective, I think it's partly the network and partly the knowledge in the room, because when you make a decision to go study MBA, typically it's a calculated decision. You know why you do it. You don't just do it for the paper just to get the diploma. You do it really to gain the knowledge, and then suddenly you realize, at least where there is a difference how you study in the professional and the executive MBA. And for me, what I enjoyed the most as part of the executive MBA journey was to be in the same room with the same couple of guys for 2 years, day in and day out. And then within those 2 years, you really grow together as a team. And those are some of the top professionals around there from different industries. And you gain different perspectives, different angles on the same topics. And what might have started probably as seemed like an argument at the first couple of lectures between us ended up to being really great discussions at the end of the studies, where we complemented each other instead of trying to fight for our own opinions. So it opened a lot of different angles on the way how we think, how we solve problems, and by working together, you gain more and more perspective, and later, of course, use it in your daily life.
Hey, I graduated 27 years ago, so what's the key takeaway? Actually, the biggest takeaway is that the theory works. Basically, what I was learning here in a business school, and know what I'm teaching here in a business school, that works. And for example, during my studies, I suddenly found out that we are running bank without the budget. In that was roughly 94, I guess. And I convinced the bosses that we should have a budget. And it turned out that it's better to run a bank when you have a budget, when you can plan expenses and things like that, and so on and so on. And also today, when I'm teaching in master classes, as I told them, we have people with experience. They are working somewhere. Very often they are all the middle level managers or senior experts, and so on and so on. And it's very usual situation when you're explaining some sort of theory or something to students, and then someone in class tells, yeah, we are applying this in our company and that works. Or unfortunately, very often I also should hear a question from the student that tell me, how should I explain this to my bosses that we should use this in our company? It's unfortunately it's still the case, but just by seeing how the careers of our students are developing, and honestly say, I think most of them are getting a rise during studies. I should say that the biggest takeaway is everyone is taking away from here theory that works if you apply it, of course.
Yekaterina, do you want to share yours?
Yes, see, I'm raising the hand to indicate that I do have. I'll just add also from the professional this MBA experience that definitely it is the network still, and the difference between the professional and the executive MBA is that within the professional MBA program, you actually manage to work with many different people because you do not stay with the same class normally throughout your whole study process, but you take one semester with certain type of people, the course, and then the next one you face absolutely different specialists from different industries. And this is something I have really appreciated, that you can have many connections, yes, from different standpoints, different experiences. That is number one. And then the second point I also wanted to say is that it's great that we're working, I suppose, same as the executive MBA, even maybe there more. We're working very often on real cases, on real businesses, well, I would say mainly from Latvia, yes. So we're helping people in their jobs to really improve certain processes, yes, or to introduce something new. And that is great that you are not working with something artificial, but it is a real thing. And often you see that indeed with your group work, project work that you've been doing for those 3-4 months, actually you have helped some company.
Thank you. Arturs, do you want to share yours?
So as a still bachelor student, for me, why RBS was a choice. Of course, I had many choices. I had different schools, but it's the way how we learn. It's more about, as you said before, Mike said really good, that we apply it in real life. You know, the things that we learn, of course, in the books, we then apply in somehow in projects, group works. And I think that's the same in MBAs and executives. So that's really big part of your life, that it's not always what you learn, it's more about how you use it. You know, you can learn everything. I know like I can read book how to solve a Rubik's cube, but if I never touch a Rubik's cube, it'll be hard for me. So it's about practice, and that's why RBS for me in Latvia, even in Europe, was my choice of studies. And I think it's the same for MBAs and executives, that it's the way how we learn.
Thank you. I have more questions.
I don't know how to word it exactly, but you mentioned like it's very practical for us. I wonder what is like the theoretical part of it,
Who's the course? Are you directing that at me or?
Sorry? Well, generally,
All of
where the balance runs between practical and the part and theoretical part of
Oh, well, in fact, it's methodology. Basically, there is no big secret that people learn at the best by doing. If you want to learn a craft, basically, it's better to work with your hands. If you want to learn something, also some business skill, the same thing, basically. You should, of course, read or hear about the theory, but you should apply this. And then that's the structure of the class, as Michael already told. Basically, there is lecture, and immediately you are asked to apply this, either working on some case study or something like this. And more and more we are encouraging in our faculty in all the courses, instead of tests and things like that, midterm and final exams, instead of those, we are encouraging evaluate students' knowledge by doing some sort of course project. Basically, it's not untypical here in the school, and throughout the course you are working and you are developing this project. And then basically, the more you are getting theoretical knowledge, the more you are adding to your project, and then your project is evaluated all the time, and the professors actually are also acting like mentors. So this is the a sort of mixed theory and the immediate application. And that's the best way how you're learning. And then basically this is methodology we are sticking in here in the school.
Did you answer your question?
Yeah, maybe to add a bit on this very tactical steps, what we did in the studies, for example, I can give you two cases. So one is during the HR course in the previous company I worked in, we totally reshaped the whole onboarding process, because starting from the theory, we understood, we did the analysis and realized that there is a huge gap in how we do the onboarding of new employees. And as part of the deliveries of the course, we came up with the project that eventually was handed over and put on the HR manager's desk. And here you go. This is what you need to do in the next couple of months. And of course, it was together developed with the head of HR of the company. So she was totally involved in the process. So it's not like it was just thrown on the desk. But anyways, during those couple of months, we came up to something that we did implement in real life in the company we worked with. And the other one was, again, as an example, financial management course, where we, as one of the big deliveries, we had to do an evaluation of the company. You know, if you're not working with M&As, then for you, it's how to evaluate what's the price of the company. No idea, right? And instead of doing very mathematical textbook exercises, we actually went on to meet the CFO of one of the big companies in Latvia, production companies. None of us was working there, but we realized that that's the best to come up with something that no one knows about. And after a series of few interviews and, you know, exchanging information back and forth, and of course they opened the books, they provided all with the information. We did the evaluation of that company, which is not a publicly listed company. So, and you know, that was great when you, at the end of the course, realized that you've evaluated a big Latvian company, which that's not public information, but you've done it based on the actual data, actual company, instead of reading case studies and doing math exercises from textbook.
Maybe just one last thing on this. The faculty members will give you the tools and techniques, and as Aldis mentioned, methodologies, and they will be there to guide you. But then you have to do real work and the project work. Many times in courses, you can choose the company that you work for as a project, and then it makes even more sense for you why you do it and why you learn it, and you can test it out already. Any other questions, or should I continue? I want to ask Aldis, I want you to now put on the faculty member. So Aldis has many roles here. He's the program director for MBA program, and then he is a graduate, and he's also teaching here. Aldis is teaching digital transformation and innovations course. So Mike and Aldis, what is the most rewarding for you as a faculty member?
Oh, well, the most rewarding, if I can tell a case, it was in the previous semester when I was reading innovation management. Was one class during the lecture part, and also during the summary part, there was a student. He was sitting in the first row with his laptop open, and I'm one of those guys who doesn't care if the student doesn't listen. And he was writing all the time something in his laptop. Well, it was okay. I was not annoyed, but it's quite weird. Guy is sitting in front of me and all the time punching something in a computer. And when the class ended, he sort of slept, closed his laptop. He told to me, "Thank you for the class. During the class, I wrote a memo to my boss about this topic, and I am going to discuss with him." Well, that was a very satisfying moment for me. Basically, it was pretty clear that I was not, let's say, useless that day.
I'd say similar. A lot of times after a year or two, I'll hear back from a student who says, they started their own business. And this something from some particular lecture really helped. And it's also often them helping their husband or wife or mother or father or friend with their business kind of as a consultant. But yeah, that they learned something and they applied it and it worked just like it's supposed to. So that's the most rewarding for me.
Okay. Valdis,
Feel useless.
Valdis and Yekaterina, we have a little bit of time left, so kind of briefly, do you have any tips or tricks about the application or study process for the incoming group? Yekaterina, maybe you can start.
Yeah, I think the application, maybe I'm not able to recommend much, I would say. Yes, I think it's more about the study process. And well, I think the main thing is just use maybe from my perspective, yes, that I wish I could attend more face-to-face classes, yes, but the situation, it is how it is. So use the opportunity to come and see your peers, the faculty, and build this network. I think this is a very different way of studying. If you compare it to the bachelor studies, you are not spending all the time together. You come to the lectures, but most of the time you connect online. But remember to still not only keep it on the study level, yes, on the project level, but build those friendships. And I'm very happy with the people I've been meeting so far, and sure we'll meet more. Yeah, that would be my maybe key suggestion.
Valdis?
Yeah, from my side, no doubt, no fear, just apply. And it's a rewarding experience, definitely. Don't think about it, no second guessing, just do it.
If you doubt about something, ask for help. Like for help.
Yeah, so many people here. Feel free. As you heard also from the students, we're super open. The whole community is open.
All right. Then my proposition is to finish up this kind of official setting and to continue the conversations there by the snacks. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.